So the first car behind me is a 1970 Pontiac GTO that has actually been converted into a Judge clone. Now, what makes a Judge? So first of all, the Judge would have had the stickers on it, of course, over the fender well, and the Judge also would have came with a wing. Now, all Judges were either Ram Air 3 or Ram Air 4 cars, and they were standard with a 3-speed. The Ram Air hood on this car is not actually operational. If it was a real Judge, it would be operational. And no, the price wasn't on here. They had a price on here yesterday of $38,000. I don't know if that's what the car sold for. Oh, the gentleman behind me is telling me it sold for $42,000, so I guess the prices have gone up. If you've watched the auctions lately, you know that these cars are bringing a premium. But the cool thing is this car is actually painted in carousel red. But if you're a Camaro fan just like me, you would know this color as Hugger Orange. So we all know that I love gold cars, and these two cars, this is a 71 Plymouth Valiant. It is a 318 car, and the owner's asking about $14,500 for this car. It doesn't look that bad, but the car that I wanted to talk about is actually this one right here. So this is a 72 Buick Skylark 350. However, it was actually made as a sun coupe. In other words, this car has a sunroof, we can see here, that starts here and just slides the whole way back to here so that you can actually look out and of course get the sun. But a badge that you don't see very often is this one right here. And it says Sun Coupe. Now they made approximately about 1,500 of these cars, and the owner's asking $25,000. And you can show the card down in there. I'm not sure if it has a phone number on there, but if you are interested in it, there you go. So what I'd do is I thought we'd just go over some prices to these cars, since most of the time people ask me what I buy and sell cars for. Of course, I can't tell you that, but I can tell you what other people have their cars for sale for. And we first have a 1963.5 Ford Galaxie 500 XL. It does say it was a 390 car. I'm not 100% sure on the numbers on these cars, but overall very beautiful car, black with the white top with the black gut. The owner's asking $39,000 for it. His phone number is there. But overall, these cars are actually, I hate to say it, but they are coming down in value. The market for these kind of cars, they're just getting a little bit older. And not very many people my age are taking a liking to these cars. But if you find a R code one, that's the one you want to look for. That's probably my favorite car. That's the one with the 427 in it. What we'll do is we'll go over this way and we'll check out some Camaros and Chevelles for you. Not 100% sure what exactly year this Camaro is. There's no price tag on it or stickers or anything like that. When I mean stickers, it does have stickers. That would have been the Z28 option. It was pretty much just the sticker package when this year came out. But overall, black car, gold everything. Can't really go wrong with that. This is a 1970 Chevelle. It does say a Super Sport 350 4-speed. Of course, they didn't keep any documentation, and you can pretty much fake whatever you want Chevelle related to 1970. But the way that you tell that this is a 70 is, of course, the headlights. They're 1 year only. If you want to go ahead and check those out there. And then the taillights on this car are also 1 year only as well. 71 and 72 had like the round taillights in it. 70 has this square style taillights, and that's just a very simple way that I'm able to tell the difference between Chevelles. This is another Chevelle. This is actually looks like a 66 Chevelle. Obviously it's dressed up as a super sport car. We'll check and see if it is a super sport here in just a second. But if you can take a peek right in there at the old VIN number, you see it starts with a 138, so of course that means that this was a super sport car from the factory. Not sure if it originally was black with the red gut, but it does have a 396 in it currently with a 12-bolt and a 4-speed. Overall, great car, great combination. They're asking about $58,500 for it, and of course the phone number for the guy is right here for the car. The second car, or the third car we're going to talk about, is this 1969 Camaro. And if we look at what they have on the display over here, we can see that it is a 1969 SS VIN code X11. Now, they did make Super Sport X11 cars. We would have to do a little bit more of a deeper dive to figure out if this car really was a Super Sport, being that it is an X11 on the VIN. It does say that it has a 350 and a 350 transmission, deluxe interior. When I look in here, I'm not really seeing a deluxe interior. It just looks like the standard black interior in there for me. The door panels are the standard interior door panels. He does have a cowl hood on here. It says 302, was kind of going for like a Z28 clone, but this car would have not been a Z28 from the factory. It's okay though. Overall, great car, great color combination. Can't go wrong with a 69 Camaro, but just a few things to look out for whenever you're trying to buy a car at a show just like this. So in a couple videos back, we all learned about 1969 Dodge Super Bs. The car behind me actually is a 68. What's cool about this car is that the actual drum brakes are painted red. Now that would have been correct from the factory. Also, this car has a bench seat in it. In January of '69, all of the bench seat cars got headrests. Now, this car has a 446 pack in it. It originally was a 383 car from the factory, and we know that because it does have an H in the middle there. Remember, Super Bs are WM21. 21 is the post car. In '68, they were all post cars actually. This car also doesn't have side scoops on it, and it didn't have the N96 grabber hood because it does have the 2-speed wiper motor in the engine compartment, and it's also not on the fender tag. But the owner's asking $59,900 for this car, and if you want to take a look at the phone number, you can give him a call. We're going to take a look at this, either a 67 or 68. This car is a 67 C code car, which would have been a 289 two-barrel car. Of course, it's a convertible. One cool thing that I thought about this car is that it has the speakers actually sitting in the back seat. If you could take a look here. I'm not sure if they're Craycos. That was a pretty popular brand back in the day. You couldn't mount your speakers back here because that's of course where the convertible top would have went. A lot of people decided either to put them down in the kick wells down there on the side of the car, but this owner has decided to actually just put them in the back seat. So continuing our Mustang trend here, we have a 1968 6-cylinder Mustang Coupe. This car originally was a Florida car. They have it for sale for $12,500, which doesn't seem like a bad price, but no rust Florida car. It's a little bit of an oxymoron to me, living in Pennsylvania. But this car originally was a T code car, 6-cylinder, and if you come over here, you can come and check this out. This has a T for the 6-cylinder there. I was told that this car was owned by an older lady, and that it was pretty well taken care of. And the way that I know that this car was taken care of is that they sprung for the actual cover here so that the water doesn't go down in that cowl and then rust everything away. Because these cowl pieces on a 68 are not removable. So when the water goes down there, you have to replace the whole front part of this car. So we made it up to the pavilion. Usually the pavilions were all like the better cars, not always, but usually the better cars reside, and we'll take a look at a few right now. So this is a 1965 Mustang. The owner says that it is a GT. However, he does say also that it's a 289 hypo with a 4-barrel carb. But if we actually take a look at the hood, or pop the hood here, we can see that this car was a C code from the factory and was born originally with the 289 two-barrel car. Nothing too crazy. It also had disc brakes on it, just a pretty bare bones basic Mustang that someone's kind of made into like a dream piece. We'll take a look at the CUDA behind this car. This car they're asking $29,500, and you can take a look at the phone number there for you if you're interested in it. This is a 1972 Plymouth CUDA. It's not a Actually, it's a Barracuda because it was a 318 car. It's not an actual CUDA unless it was a big block car from the factory. I forget the name of the color of this, but it just looks like a gunmetal, but it might be shadow gray. I'm not 100%. But this car originally just a plain Jane 318 car that someone's turned into a 340 car. They put kind of like the faux AAR stripes on the side here. Those would have not been correct from the factory, but pretty cool car, 59,500. If you're interested in it, you can give them a call. One of my favorite cars here is, of course, this Oldsmobile 442 convertible. They do have a W30 badge on the side of this car. It's not a real W30 car. Of course, if it was, we would be asking a lot more money than $49,500 for the car. But it presents well. It's red, it's white, with the white top and the white stripes. I personally think these cars are the coolest cars on the planet. I am in contact with someone who does have a barn full of W30 cars, so if you'd like to see that video, go ahead and give us a subscribe to the channel so you can stick around for that here later on in the year. But the last car that we're going to talk about while we're in the pavilion this time, there are several other cars here that I know the owners of personally, and we'll be able to talk to them here in just a little bit. But this is a 1968 Chevy Nova. And the cool thing about Novas is that Novas and Camaros are pretty much the same cars. It does say that it was a super sport car, but they are just like Camaros. For example, the heater box on this car, it's a big block heater box, just like the Camaro. The hoses come out in the middle here. Of course, the cross member for the transmission would have been big block specific, and there would have been a few radiator components that would have been big block specific as well. But overall, black car, black interior. Not sure how much they're asking for this car. Does it say? Oh, yep, right down there. It says 45,500 or best offer. But overall, just a pretty sinister looking car. It's got four-wheel disc brakes. It does have the Foose wheels on it, so you know it was done probably about 5, 7, 10 years ago. 502 big block in it, but still a pretty cool streetable car. We're going to take a look at this 1969 Camaro. Looks like it's in Le Mans blue, of course. It says a X55 car. However, it does have 396 badges on the side here. X55 would have been a super sport car from the factory, but it wouldn't have been a big block. It would have just been a 350 car. It does have a horseshoe shifter rod, probably a power glide in there. Cow hood has been added to the car, but overall, just basically it does have a 454, not a 396. They just have that here. But then they're asking $52,500 for it. But overall, very, very nice Camaro. So we made it down here to the Shelby corner, or the Mustang corner of the car corral, and we have a 69 Boss 302. Now, what's cool is that we can actually take a look at the VIN number on this car. It's not very often that you get to see a G code, which would be the Boss 302 VIN number that we're looking for. You can see it fairly right in the middle right there. The owner of this car is asking $84,000 for this car. I don't think that's out of line. It is a little high. I just watched a few of them sell for about $70,000 in a little bit better condition for this car last weekend. But then again, it is a real Boss 302. They were built to homologate for the Trans Am series. And overall, it does present itself very, very well. It's got the louvers in the back here, of course. It's got the wing on it. But what we'll do is also take a look at a few Shelbys here. This is a 68 convertible GT350. It originally was a lime gold car from the factory. They've resprayed it, of course, in a candy apple red. I don't know why you would have done that. I know a red's a pretty good color to resell, but going back original is usually the right way to go with these cars. It does have the 10 spokes on it. They're not correct from the factory. Remember, only 5 cars in 1968 actually got those specific wheels on it from Shelby. We do have another Shelby here as well. This is a King of the Road GT500, of course. And again, these wheels on this car are not factory correct. Only 5 cars would have gotten those, and all those 5 cars were exported out of the country. So this would have had different wheels on it. But originally this was a lime gold car. They've resprayed the whole thing to royal maroon. Not sure how many miles are on this car. It doesn't say. But they are asking $179,000 for this car, which I mean, if it was more original, it would probably command that price, being a KR car, but it's just, it's not. Check this thing out, man. This is a 1966 or a 65 Chevrolet Corvette, but of course it has a wild paint job on it. I mean, look at this thing. It looks like it was straight out of 1976. What is it, a 65 or a 66? Looks like it's 65. You can tell by the coves on the side down here, but overall, doesn't look like a terrible shaped car. You can tell it was painted a long time ago because the paint's kind of checkering on it, probably from the lacquer. But it's looks like it's got a 383 stroker in it. Pretty cool car. You can see here that when the hood goes down, they have a locking mechanism, so that way you can't steal anything. I would take that off of there, but that's period correct. Looks like it is a 4-speed car, and just overall, just not a Corvette that you really get to see. Most people don't paint their Corvettes like this. But what you can do is you can pick off cars coming on into the field here, off of people's trailers, and see if you can find them cheap, and then maybe make a few bucks over the next couple days. Probably what's going to happen to this car. This car was sold way over there in that corner. The owner's probably going to put a higher price on it here for the next 3-4 days and see if he can make some money. Chevy Nomads. I personally think they're probably one of the coolest station wagons to ever exist, other than the Pontiac Safari, which was pretty much the same thing. The way you can tell a Nomad, of course, is by the S-pillar right here. Now, they made them 3 years, all tri-5s, 55, 56, and 57, and they're the only ones that have the ribs on the top of the car just like this. Now, of course, this is a 57. We can tell by the actual side down here, but they're very uncommon cars. A lot of one-off pieces and components right in here through the glass. So we were able to find our first Z28 here. This is actually an X77 car, which means that this car was a Z28 from the factory, and we can tell that by the cow tag. And we can see that it's it was originally, of course, of Garnet Red with a 711 standard interior, but it does have the D80 front and rear spoiler on this car. This car does not have the original 302 in it. It has been replaced with a 400 block, but the owner says that he does have a 302 DZ motor, not the original motor, to this car. Oh, because it was the X77, of course, the drip moldings would have been body color, and then it didn't get the gills on the side, but the stripes on the back of this car are actually incorrect. This stripe right here from the factory did not extend the whole way to the end of the trunk lid. They were done like that sometimes from the dealer, but that wouldn't have been correct on a Z28. Cool, so we found a Highland green Mustang fastback. Now, I bought a S-Code GT 390 Coupe the other day. I actually sold it like a day later, but this is the more desirable version. This is a 1967. How do I know it's a 67? Well, it doesn't have any actual side marker lights on it, which were standard in 1968. It does look like it has a 289 or a 302 in here, and if we go to the numbers here, we can see that it is originally a 289 4-barrel car. That's what an A code would stand for. It does say GT on the side. I'm not seeing the fog lights on this car. The owner's asking $57,500. We'll get a phone number on it over here. Here's a phone number if you're interested. But this, of course, was called Highland Green. Let me see here. Doesn't have the ignition switch there for the GT fog lights, so it probably wasn't a GT from the factory. The GT was just an option, so there's no really way to know. But no, it doesn't. And what I was trying to show in the other video that I did is that if it was a GT car from the factory, it would have dual exhaust cutouts right here. So you can see that this car does have dual exhaust. But there's actually no cutouts here in the lower valance because this car originally was not a GT. So this is pretty cool. I thought this car originally was a Graham, but it's a 1937 Willys. This car does have a 4-cylinder in it. It is a 3-speed. It has been sold. I'm not sure the exact sale price. The owner was asking $15,000 for this car. But just a pretty cool piece. I mean, the nose is pretty unique. You just don't really see cars like this very often. You know, you see your Fords, your Chevrolets, but you just don't really find Willys that often. Unfortunately, I'm not able to open it up. But really cool car. You can see it's got snow tires on the back here. which would have been common on these cars, but just something that, you know, when you see Camaros every day and Mustangs every day, it's just a little bit different when you see something like this.
Yeah.
So this is a 1956 Chevrolet. Now, of course, we know it's a 56 because, of course, the grille and then the side trim down the side here. Yesterday, this car had a price on it of about $15,000. I personally thought that was a little high. I think these cars are coming down in value, but I'm mistaken. It does say sold on here. Let's see if it's open. Yeah, I mean, oh, it's a little bit nicer on the inside than I thought. It is a Bel Air, of course. We can see that. It says it on the dash. Fun fact for you, when I was younger, my dad taught me that you could take this carpet, even though this carpet looks like it's worn out, it's done, there's nothing left, you can take RIT t-shirt dye and just take a brush, a little bit of water, just make that carpet look brand new again for fraction. For like, I think they cost like $2 at the store. They have these Carlisle events probably once a month over the next couple months throughout the summer. Now, I've been coming here since I was a kid. I used to get off school to come here with my dad, but I would always just memorize all of the car prices and just learn all of the car parts that you can see around here. This car behind me is a 1940 Ford truck. It's pretty cool because you don't see trucks too often. Looks like it has just a small block Chevrolet in there. Some people would call that sacrilegious, but I mean, I think it's pretty cool. It's got the pinstripes on here. They're asking $30,000. Here's the phone number for them. I'm not too familiar with the prices of these trucks to know whether that's a good deal or a bad deal, but you can never go wrong with a 1940 Ford. We're going to take a look at this 1968 Dodge Charger. Now remember, in 68 these had flip-up headlights, but they were operated by vacuum. This car originally says that it was owned by some sort of scientist, and we can tell that it was not an RT car because the second digit is a P for premium. If it would have said S, that means it would have been a special car, which means that it would have been an RT package. Now again, 68 is the only year that had these round side markers, of course, and it's the only year that also had the back lights on the back that looked like this. And we'll take a look at a 69 here in just a second, but these are 68 specific. But the owner of this car is asking, I think, $75,000. It's just a 383 car, nothing too crazy. It does say it has a 4-speed, but you can get the number for the car right here and get in contact if you're interested. While we're up here at the pavilion, a buddy of mine actually just lives just a minute down the street from me. He brought 3 cars here. They all are resto modded cars. They're done fairly well. And I just kind of want to show you exactly what's been done to these cars. His name's Pat. He does own a company called GQ Creations. Again, it's right down the street from me. This is a 1972 Chevrolet C10. I'm not sure what motor it has in it. Okay. So yeah, it's got a 445 horsepower crate 383 in here. But overall, it's got Willwood disc brakes all the way around, new upholstery in it. I mean, it just looks like a fairly, you know, well-built vehicle, and maybe that'll reflect on camera as well. You can take a look inside. I mean, everything's new. Looks like you could eat off of it. They did a great job with the bed. If you're looking to get something like this built, go ahead and give Pat a call at GQ Customs. But we're going to go over 2 of the other cars that he has here. Is this 1969 Dodge Charger Resto mod. Now in 69, again, these were still vacuum setup hideaway lights. They weren't electronic until 70. However, I believe these have been converted to electronic. This car, again, it was not an RT car. It has a P as the second digit. If it was a RT, that would have been an S, but this does have an F, which means that this car started out as a 318 car. We can see that it has a 440 in here right now. Looks like it has a, not sure if that's a fuel-injected poly EFI sniper setup on there. Overall, these cars are coming up in value. If you find a Charger, any condition, you know, you have something special. This car's been completely redone. It's got 4-wheel Willwood disc brakes on it. The interior has been completely reconditioned. It does have the great red paint on it. Again, it's not a RT, but it does have the RT stripe on the side here. No harm, no foul there. Overall, a very, very well done car. Not sure exactly what he's asking for it. He's asking $129,000, of course, and there's the phone number for Pat there if you want to give him a call. Another cool thing is, a while back I was actually commissioned by a gentleman who built 1965 Shelby GT350 continuation cars. What I would do is I would go to junkyards up and down the East Coast, Mustang specific junkyards, and I would find pieces to replicate these Shelby cars that were not available for reproduction parts. So for example, one of the parts that I would run up and down the East Coast to find is these vents right here. Now, of course, on a Shelby in 66, there is no vents here. It would have been glass. But these pieces right here are actually pot metal. And once they're broken, they're broken. I'm not sure if they remake them today. If you know that, give us a comment down below. But a few years back, they didn't remake these. So if you see those at your local flea market for a couple bucks, go ahead and pick them up. This car originally started out as a 6-cylinder car from the factory. We can tell that because it does have the T code right here on the fender. It looks like it's got either, not sure what motor it's in there. Probably looks like okay, so it's a 408 cubic inch, 425 horsepower motor. Nothing to laugh at. This is a small car, 425 horsepower, definitely enough to get it to scoot down the road, but just check out this interior. I mean, that dash, that's a 65 period. I mean, for example, the work that's been done to this car. So in 65, the dash looks like this. However, this is a completely modernized version. In other words, they stayed correct with the car. They just put the best parts on it that they could possibly find. Does have cup holders. Love to see the cup holders. A lot of old cars never had cup holders. So if you want to take your girl out cruising, definitely want those in there. But overall, I mean, the quality of the build here, just something that you know, you don't see very often in a Mustang Fastback. So we just looked at that 65 Resto mod, and now we'll look at a 65 Mustang Fastback that has not been Resto modded, and that's this car right here. So to start out with, it looks like just a basic, we'll see here. Okay, so it's a C code car, which means that it would have been a 289 two-barrel. Nothing too crazy, but still a good car. We can see the original dash of a 65 in here compared to that Resto mod over there and how much that car was modified. It looks like this car was an automatic car. Just a overall pretty sanitary car, nothing too crazy. The owner's asking $57,900 for it. You can see here, doesn't look like there is a phone number here, but you can kind of show that and maybe they can get a hold of them somehow. But overall, pretty car. I definitely wouldn't be afraid to drive this to any show or anything like that. One of the coolest cars from the mid 2000s that I feel is cool is definitely this Shelby Hertz car right here. And if you don't know what that is, in 1966, Shelby had a deal with Hertz Rent-A-Car where you could actually rent a Hertz car from, you could actually rent a Shelby GT350 from Hertz Rent-A-Car. Now, some people would actually take the motors out of them and then put a regular 289 back in the car and then return the car to Hertz. But this car came with hood pins from the factory. Again, in 66, they didn't have the actual louvers that went down the back of the window, so this one is glass just like it would have been in 66. But overall, these cars, they came in different colors back in 66. I'm not sure if they came in different colors in 2006, but they're asking $39,900 for this car. I think it's probably one of the coolest cars in modern history to run around in. You can see here it has the Hertz logo with the Shelby GTH. My gold Camaro is black, or is gold with black stripes, and this is exactly the opposite. It's black with the gold stripes. And we'll see if it's open here. You can take a peek in there to the center column or the center console there, and it's not a real signature, but you can see there that it does say Carroll Shelby on the dash in there. So we found a pretty cool car. This is a 73 340 Challenger Rally 4-speed car. It originally was red. It does have some plum crazy parts on it, but it wasn't a plum crazy car. It doesn't have the fender tag or the fender tag on it, so I can't show you really the rally option on the fender tag. But as a 73 Challenger, it does have the rally dash in there. You can see it goes the whole way to 150. It does have the 8 grand tach, of course, as well. It's a pretty cool car. You do see the rally cars, you just don't see the 4 speeds very often. He's got an 8999 or best offer, of course. And then here's the phone number. Car is located in Delaware. So this is a 1966 Chevrolet Corvette. Of course, it's a small block car. We can tell that because of the hood on here. I was told that this was originally a dealer's wife's car. That's why it's in such good a shape. I'm not sure if the paint on here is original or not. The owner's not 100% sure if the paint's original on this car or not either. It was sold. I believe they got somewhere in the realm of about $100,000 for this car. Of course, we can see that it does have the knockoff wheels on it. But what I think about this car is pretty cool is it has the teak wood ring wheel in it, or the teak wood steering wheel. And it's just, I mean, probably the only Corvette here with that on it. The Corvette across the block over here is a 69, of course. They're asking $10,000 for it. If you do find a big block one of these, that's what's coming up in value right now. Remember that in 1972, that was the last year for the chrome bumpers on the front, and 73 was the last year for the chrome bumpers on the rear. I tend not to buy any Corvettes like these unless they're big block cars, but if you disagree with that, just leave me a comment below.